All right, folks. All right, there you have it. The Yankees take their first L of the season. They take their first L of the season in walk-off fashion, unfortunately, as Cal Riley. I mean, it was just a matter of time before this dude woke up, right? He wasn't runner-up for MVP last year for no reason. The dude had 60 home runs last season, and he's gotten off to probably one of the worst starts I've ever seen, but it was just a matter of time before he came through. He gets the walk off. There was a lot of, I won't say controversy, but should they have pitched to him, right? Should Boone have pitched him, or should he have put him on first and loaded the bases and take your chances versus Julio Rodriguez, who also hasn't been his greatest. I don't know, you know, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, this was probably the first test of like some real good pitching for the Yankees, with the exception of Logan Webb in the opener versus the Giants. But even I will put Luis Castillo above Logan Webb. Yeah, I'll say that. And they didn't show up, man. The bats were not there at all today. Not there at all. Let me pull up this box score if I can see it. I'm waiting for Boone to come do the post game. Let me pull this up real quick. Sorry, guys. It's a late one, too. Sleepless in Seattle, man. That's the title, man. That is the title, because if you're on the East Coast, you got to be tired right now. There we go. Yeah, let's put up the box score real quick. Okay. Oh, I had the box score disabled. Anyway, there's the box score. I don't know if you guys could see it. It's a little small, the font, but a lot of O's in his columns for the Yankees, with the exception of Giancarlo Stanton. Right, his fourth multi-hit game of the season so far. He's not there because he was taken out for Randall Grichuk in the ninth inning for base running purposes. Put this here. Yeah, but he went what was it, 2 for 4? Yeah, he went 2 for 4. Judge 1 for 3 with that single at the end. Ben Rice 1 for 4. Caballero 1 for 2. Yeah, 5 hits on the game. Runners in scoring position. We were 0 for 6. Hold on, let's listen to Boone real quick.
They found holes with a couple balls. They hit him sharp on the ground, but I thought he managed contact well, getting them on the ground. I thought he threw the ball well. Clean 8th there. And then with the tie and being a little short down there, liked him through the bottom of the order there. They found a couple holes and beat us.
To start this one off, it was Ryan Weathers getting his first start as a New York Yankee. Overall, what did you think of his stuff?
Yeah, I thought good, especially, comes out, walks the leadoff man, and gets behind the two-hitter 3-1 and works his way back into it. And, able to get into the 5th, I thought kind of got better as he went along. They started to put back-to-back batters on before I took him out there. But overall, I thought he threw the ball pretty well.
How much do you think early on it was him just trying to get comfortable on the mound, first time out, new team?
Yeah, I mean, all that, that first outing of the year, cold night, you're kind of finding your way. So overall, I thought he managed it well. Gave us a chance to win a game.
Over there.
With Castillo, what made him so effective throughout?
Yeah, we were having a hard time. I felt like with his fastball was playing up
I don't
tonight.
want to get copyright.
That low slot.
Well, he talks in the background. He's talking about. I mean, he was talking about Ryan Weathers there. Look, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great either. I still need to see more, so I'm not going to pass judgment just yet on the guy. I wasn't wowed by his performance either. But at the end of the day, look, he did his job. He did his job. He gave us a chance to win. He didn't get deep into the. He didn't get deep into the game, and I think Boone pulled him at the right time. Or he got into some trouble, and Fernando Cruz bailed him out. Right, Fernando Cruz came in, struck out. I believe it was Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, strikes both of them out to get out of the jam. Right, so he saved Ryan Weathers' ERA for sure. Camilo Doval, came in, gave us an out on 2 pitches. He's looked phenomenal so far. At the end of the day, look, this was just a lack of offense. I get it. Luis Castillo's a stud. We all know that, but you got to do better than this, in my opinion, man. See, this was like kind of like the real test here to see can the Yankees, this offense, hit some good pitching. I mean, look, it's still early. This is only their first real test, and it's gonna happen. But that's something we just got to keep our eye on as the season progresses, right? The one thing we gotta keep our eye on, let's not look at the overall stats. Like obviously we were first in so many offensive categories last year. I want to see more. How do we do versus pitching that's actually decent versus pitching that we might see in the playoffs, right? This is look, whether you like it or not, the Mariners are a powerhouse. This is a matchup that this could easily be an October matchup, right? So yeah, on another note, the Blue Jays took a huge blow. What's the good Cody Ponce, the guy they signed? I think that's his name. He like tweaked his knee or something, so he's getting imaging. They had just gave this dude $30 million for 3 years. He had won the Korean Cy Young or something like that. So he was supposed to be a big part of their rotation too. The Blue Jays are taking a bunch of L's in their rotation right now with Trey Savage being hurt. Now this dude Cody Pence, his first appearance, man. I feel bad for the dude. I hope he's okay. Even though they're the ops, right? The Blue Jays are the ops, but I hope he's okay because that sucks, man. He finally got his shot in the big leagues. After playing overseas for so long, finally gets his huge break, and this happens. At least he got paid though. At least he got paid, but tough break, man. Tough break for him. Let me say what's up to the chat. I know that. Look, I'm not gonna be negative because look, this is only game 4, right? But this is one thing that I want to see. I want to see how we hit versus good pitching, and today we didn't do well. I will say that. One thing I did like though, the Yankees, man, we was making that umpire look pretty bad, making him look bad. Look, I forgot that. I don't know what we were for challenges, but at one point, man, we were just challenge happy, and we were getting them though. And look, by all means, man, if you certain, man, that that's a ball, challenge it, right? Challenge it. Who cares? These umpires, man, they getting put on notice. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick. Switch to the next. JK says, I don't think it was him waking up. I think it was Blackburn throwing a horrible pitch. I mean, yeah, but you still got to hit the ball, man. Look, don't discredit the dude, man. Give him his props. The guy got the hit, right? There was a bunch of horrible pitches that didn't get hit. Look, and I'm a Yankee fan. Obviously, I hate to say that, right? You still got to hit the bad ones too, the mistakes. And he hit the mistake. Me personally, I think I would have rather faced Julio Rodriguez. But, I went with a different pitcher. It is what it is. What are you going to do? I knew that was going to happen. You could kind of feel it, like this was going to happen. This dude is due for a hit. He's like due. So, and if he says season over, yeah, man, I'll tell you what, if obviously season ain't over, but we will see, right? This is kind of like how we started last year, right? Don't get it twisted. Was it last year we started off pretty hot, and where it all kind of flipped on us when we went to Seattle for some reason. We went to Seattle. Obviously, we know Oswaldo Cabrera got hurt there, but we had lost a game in extra innings, some close games there, and everything. I'm not saying that's the case here, obviously, but like it's not a good look when you don't put up runs against decent pitching. Like we already know that we could beat up on the bad pitching. The question mark for this team, and I think Woke can agree, I see him in the chat, the question mark for this, everybody knows the Yankees offense could put up crazy numbers, right? But can they do it versus good pitching and when it matters most? That is the biggest question mark, right? And obviously, we won't find out until we have big matches. But to me, this was a pretty good test, and it is what it is. Look, right? You know, we weren't going to go undefeated. We weren't going to go 162-0. But this is a game that I feel like we could have won. This is the kind of games, man, I like to see the Yankees steal. Right? When your offense doesn't have it, try to find a way to steal it. You know, Ahmed Rosario with the sac fly. Like there was a way, like he could have easily stole the game, manufactured a run here or there. Giancarlo Stanton getting thrown out at second on a drop pop up. Obviously you don't want that happening. It is what it is. What are you gonna do, guys? 1-L. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays lost today too. We could have really, took the lead, and it is what it is. What are you gonna do? So Neil says Weathers will be spot starter or take Hedrick's spot in the pen once Rodon is back. Hey man, I don't look personally. I'm not high on the guy just yet, and I'll be honest, right? And I wish I could call. Like I'm gonna call people out, right? His first start in spring training, or even before spring training, even before his first start, when the Yankees got him, and we were waiting for the first spring training game, and a news report came out and said, "Oh, that he's throwing." Hold on. It said he hit. What was it? He hit 98 on the radar gun, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, 98 miles an hour!" And then I'm like, "Guys, come on, man." And it's they're like, "Oh, he's gonna be the next big." I'm like, "I hope so, man," but like, let's chill out, bro. The dude hasn't even pitched a real inning yet. Me personally, I'm not that high on the guy, but we'll see. I'll tell you why. He's better than Cookie Carrasco or Marcus Stroman. I think his deal, right, is going to be staying healthy and giving us innings. The same thing with Will Warren. Can you give us innings? Can you take us to the 6th, 7th inning every game? So it's all right. Yankees 150 games left. Just win the next 2 games. Hey, man, see, I'm going to tell you right now, but this is don't get caught up in that, man. It's not okay. Every game matters, right? Every game matters. If you could steal a game or find a way to see, this is what championship like teams do. I'm not saying the Yankees aren't or they are, right? But championship teams, man, really good teams, they find a way to win even when they don't got it. Even on games that they should lose, they find ways to win. Let's go listen to Ryan.
You able to kind of settle in and find your rhythm out there?
Yeah, I think definitely nerves in the first.
You guys hear that?
Just a new team. Just was excited to throw and just got a little bit out of myself in the first. Bounced back well in the first. Feel like I threw the ball well from there on out. I think it's just got behind in counts, Just you got to trust my stuff over the middle of the plate and get ahead in the count.
How did you calm yourself down and get yourself on track?
Definitely after I got the first out, that eased the nerves a lot. Max and Matt just talking to me in the dugout and just saying, like, let my arm be float.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, we'll see. Like I say, look, if we take the next 2, it's all right. But the Mariners are going to be tough, man. The Yankees, like this is a matchup this could easily be an ALCS matchup, an ALDS matchup, a wild card matchup even. This is a postseason match. These are 2 teams who are expected to be, one of the last teams standing in the AL. So it'd be nice if we can, get out in front and start, whooping their asses a little bit. The good thing is we got Free tomorrow and then Schlittler in the last game. So, those are our top 2 dogs right now. So if we can't get those wins, then we really got to start looking at the Mariners as a serious threat. I'm already looking at it. To me personally, and I've said this, I think the Mariners might be the top team in the AL. Them and the Blue Jays. Right now the Blue Jays are hurting though. But the Mariners don't sleep on them, man. Do not sleep on them. Yeah, the offense was non-existent. NFE was good, man. The fact Weathers still had 8 Ks and only gave up 1 run, and it was the Jams, I'll take it. Yeah, but those are some things I didn't like, man. You know, you're right though, AKs and stuff, but you got to give us more innings, and he got bailed out, right, by Fernando Cruz. He got bailed out, and I think Boone. Look, credit to Boone when credit is deserved. He took him on the perfect spot. I think if he leaves him in there, he blows up the game there. So I need to see more, right? Look, at the end of the day, it's one start. It's one start. But look, every game, right? Last year, we ended up tied for first. Every game, and even Boone said it in the postmortem, press conference that him and Cashman do every year, right? It's become like an annual event. And he said it that he wishes, because they asked him, "Do you have any regrets?" He's like, "Yeah." He kind of looks at some of those games where they let it get away for them, or games where they feel like they could have stole a win, you know, and they didn't, man. So every game counts, because this loss could be the difference between winning a division or not. Obviously, it's still too early, but you just got to play every game and take every game serious. Like Joe's McFly says, right? I don't know if you like Joe's McFly. He always says, and I like this saying that he says, it's 162 one-game seasons, right? That's how you got to play it. 162 one-game seasons. Yankees, you got to learn how to hit from good pitching. Yes, sir. Yeah, the offense for both teams weren't good. And it was cold. I get it, I'm not worried about the other team, what the other team's offense is. I'm worried about what my offense is doing. I don't think the offense is good this year. I've said all along they're going to win by pitching. I think the offense is good. My thing is just, can they do it when it really counts? That's the only question. There's no question this offense isn't good. Like, don't get it twisted. This is a good lineup. Is it good enough though? Like, can they show up when it matters most? That's yet to be seen. But this is a good lineup. Like, I'm not gonna say they suck or anything like that, because they don't, man. Blue Jays getting shot down like a bad game of Nintendo Duck Hunt. Yep. Yeah, but Jason, that's what I just said, man. You gotta pay attention, brother. I've been saying that since I started the show. Every game matters. Every single game. When you and last year we learned it the most when you end up tied. You start looking back like, damn, remember that one game that we should have won? That other game here, this game where we just let Devin Williams just freaking blow it all up. You gotta, Wilkins says, I expected to lose today, just didn't want to be walked off by the big dumpster. It's funny, man. That's what NYYJ calls him. He was due. He was due. For sure. Yeah, the whole ALE is pretty much lost. CJ, are you talking about the umpires, man? They're having a tough time. Chef was good. Just called the play-by-play, my dude, insane. Man, that was a snoozer, man. I would hate to call a play-by-play for today's game. No offense. It's just boring. Yeah, it was a boring game to me. And you're gonna have those during the season, for sure. Emilio Reynoso, man, damn. He says, effing useless ass offense. I tell you what, man, I'm not gonna disagree with you. My thing is, look, we gotta, like, this is one thing I'm looking at right this season. I want to see the Yankees offense, put pressure on good pitchers, right? Because we know we when it's a bad pitcher, we tee off on bad pitchers, man. We love it. Can we do it against good pitchers? That's what I want to see. Can we put pressure on good pitchers? I'm not saying they got to score 20 runs, but my goodness, man, you got to put up, something up on the board. They didn't get a hit till like the 7th inning or something like that. And, Luis Castillo was just having his way with them, pretty much. I want to see more. I want to see more. Man, that umpire had a rough night tonight. At one point, man, he had like 7 challenges overturned. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. I think the offense is good. Me personally, look, I'm gonna keep it real, right? I don't think it's good enough. But I think it's good enough to take us to the postseason. I'm hoping, right? And I've been saying this, man. I've been saying this since before spring training started. I'm just hoping, right? The team is good enough to make it to the postseason. That I don't, to me, that's not even a question, right? The question is, can they make a move, an acquisition during the season, right? Cashman, this is for you. This is your homework. Can you get some firepower in this lineup, something that's going to push us over the edge, right? Or pitching, but I think the pitching will be fine. I think really it's going to be another bat, another big time bat in the lineup. And I'm not saying a guy who's home run or nothing. We need a guy who's a tough out, who's going to make you throw 10, 12 pitches, and whose on base percentage is really good. And I think we'll be fine. Welker says, I'm not high on this Warren and Weathers, 2 starters who need a miracle to go 5 innings. This will decimate our bullpen like last year. I agree with you, Welker, man. When even going to Fernando Cruz early, right now the bullpen is solid because they're fresh. But we've seen it every year. I think this is the reason, right? This is the main cause for the Boone June swoon, is that the bullpen gets tired, The bullpen they get burnt out. They get burnt out. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Now that they have a chance to win, Blackbird facing Cal Raleigh with the game on the line. Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew when they pitched, I kind of knew it was over. I just had that feeling, here we go. He's about to walk it off. I already had the title for the because usually because I don't know what's the outcome of the game gonna be, But I already had it, I already typed it in. I just had it unlisted. Cal Raleigh walks off, and it happened. I was like, damn, maybe I jinxed it, but I mean, it was just kind of obvious that was gonna happen there. See if I can move this real quick. Okay. I'd rather go 4 Ks and 6 innings. Too few innings will ruin your bullpen. Yep. Sunu says, I revised my receipt on my Stan takes. You can't revise. There's no revising. Stan would play 150 games and hit 52 home runs. No, man, there's no reviving. There is no reviving, Sunil. Let me pull up yours. All right, this is what you say. Here's my Stantonian receipt. He will be the single biggest reason Judge gets more DH time and Spencer Jones gets to shoot his shot in the big show. He still got the elbow issues. Well, I guess he proved you wrong so far. Yeah. My bad, guys. I apologize for the low energy. I'm tired and my kids are sleeping. I'm trying not to wake them up because they got school tomorrow. Welker says, I'd rather go 4K. Yeah. Dumpster got diarrhea. Oh, my goodness. Katie, the offense should have contributed more in the game. Yeah, that goes without saying, right? Pat says, Kyle is clutch. He wasn't clutch in the WBC. You should have walked him. I was saying they should have walked him. But I think they just my thing with Cal is he's a switch hitter, so you really can't. It's not like you're going to get a good matchup versus this guy. There is no good matchup versus him to me. I would have pitched with Julio. That's what I would have done, me personally, because he just didn't look, his swings didn't look too good. And that's what I do. I mean, look, what are you going to do? Let's listen to Austin Wells.
Really good shutdown innings after that.
Did you sense that maybe there was some
Austin
added
Wells
adrenaline,
looks
some nerves
like a
early on
werewolf.
from him?
I don't really know. It was my first time catching him.
This man.
I'm not sure.
With Cruz, you saw him
He's
a lot last
Szymanski.
year. Just what did you think of the
First of
splitter
all.
tonight?
You need a
I mean,
manscape, bro.
It's one of the best pitches in
that's
baseball.
disgusting.
I mean, came in there and did exactly what he did all last year, and hopefully going to do all this year.
What the fuck? This dude is like,
Castillo so tough.
he's just laying it out
Sorry,
there,
sir.
man.
What makes Castillo so tough to hit?
I don't know. I didn't touch anything from him, so you got to ask somebody else.
Damn.
What do you mean, just the way the entire pitching staff?
They asked him what makes him so tough to hit. And Wells said, I don't know. I didn't touch anything from him, so he didn't even foul the ball off. So it's terrible. Terrible. What was that? Yankees went 5 for 5 in ABS challenges. I'm telling you right now, man, these umpires, man, and you could tell, yeah, some of these umpires, they're like really, they ego tripping, especially now with this ABS. Like you can tell they don't like it, right? They don't like being stood up or shown up in front of 55,000 people. And to that I say, well, guess how it feels, right? You know? Now you know how it feels when you call a strike 3 on a ball that's clearly a ball, you know, or a ball 4 on a ball that's clearly a strike, and you influence the outcome of a game. And now you're getting put on notice. That umpire today, you could tell that he was like, damn, you know, they're just tapping their hat on everything. VL says McMahon, Jazz, Wells, Grisham are complete garbage. Elite pitching. They will do damage. They will do damage 3, 4, and 5, though. I think, look, nobody did good today. All right. Even Stan, he had 2 hits. One was questionable. The other one was a freaking laser beam to left center. But outside of that, it wasn't too many hard hit balls. I would say Ben Rice smoked the ball. He just, Randy Rosarena caught it in left field. So not much offense today at all. At all. He says they can't hit splitters and good changeups. You know what, man? I agree with you. They can't. I think Escara catches free tomorrow night. Does he? Probably. They probably want to get him in there. I don't know. Let's see. See what he does. Wells is back to trash juice. Oh, man. They need to bring that to a hookah and a presidente or something, yo. They need to get that Dominican back in him. Bring him some Dominican food, something, man. Because you could tell when he was with the DR team, man, he looked like he was having fun. Here he looks like he's at work. It's a difference, right? He looked like he was playing a game with DR, and when he's with the Yankees, he looks like he's at work. Like, shit is serious. Here we go, man. Same old Yankees, clutchless in Seattle. No, I think last year, man, we did good versus Seattle. Guys, I'm not gonna get too negative, right? It's just one loss, right? Every game counts, though. I will say that. And this is a game that we could have stole. We could have had this game, right? It could have went either way, in my opinion. It's a freaking mosquito. You saw that shit? But I mean, look, it's not the end of the world either. The way to make up for it is to get the next 2, right? Get the next 2, and you bring it back home to New York, it will be all right. Now, if we lose this series, it's a different story. Now it's like, okay, we lost the series, man. We don't want to be doing that too often. So today was a good opportunity too. But the Orioles losing, Red Sox losing, Blue Jays losing, we could have took, even though it would have been a 1-game lead, but we could have, this song start building on that. But we didn't, though. We didn't. I wouldn't say we're clutches against Mariners. We won that 1 game against a hitless Brian Wu to the 8th inning. That was in Yankee Stadium, though, and that was the game that Cam Schlittler, his first appearance, right? Am I right? I think that was Cam Schlittler's first game versus Brian Wu in Seattle. Was it? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know why I feel like that happened, though. I feel like that happened. Miami ain't an easy win. They're a tough club. I mean, yeah, they proved it last year too, and I would imagine they're better this year. They got some good young guys down there, man. Freaking Stowers is a beast, you know. They got some good guys. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to beat these teams, right? The good teams. Every team in the big leagues is good. Some are terrible, obviously, but there's still a big league team. When you make mistakes versus a big league hitter, I don't care if he's on the Colorado Rockies. I don't care if he's on the Chicago White Sox. I don't care what team, right? These are big leaguers. You make a mistake, they're going to make you pay. So we got to, got to do better, man. My thing, right? I want to see we got to find a way to manufacture runs. I get it. Like, games like today are going to happen. Games like today where you can't get nothing on the board, you can't really, string together a couple hits or anything like that. That's going to happen throughout 162. It's going to happen. But the good teams, the really good teams, they find ways to steal a game, right? Especially it's 1-1 in the ninth. 1-1 in the ninth. The Yankees aren't hitting nothing, but Seattle hasn't taken advantage either. Seattle had more opportunities to score than the Yankees, and they didn't take advantage. Really good teams, they capitalize on that. They find a way to manufacture something, And we didn't do it. I wanted that game to go extra innings, though. Last year, we struggled in extra innings. Is that going to be something, we struggle with this year? I hope not, but I don't know. We'll see when we get there, right? It's not the end of the world, guys. I'm still hopeful. I'm being optimistic. I still look. It's a long season, right? It really is. We're gonna have some tough losses, some good ones, but I think that so far, now look. I want to see the Yankees hit off a good pitcher, right? But you got to remind yourself too. This is good pitcher. This is Luis Castillo. Now, if this happens more than once, like every time we face good pitching, we can't do anything, then we got to worry, Then we got to worry. I think that at some point, though, this season, moves will be made. And, like I said, like I always say, the roster you see right now is not going to be the roster come September 30th or whatever. If we lose to every team that's decent pitching, I forfeit hope for the season by the deadline. Yeah, you guys, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, like Welkin, all you guys, man, you guys are like this, ups and down, ups and down. Like, it's still early, right? Every game counts for sure. But this happens to the best teams, man. You get shut down sometimes. You get shut down. But last year was a lot of look, because they saying like, I was watching the post game on Yes, and they're like, well, it was a cold night, and Boom saying it was a cold. No, that's not an excuse. Being cold is not. It's just as cold for the other team. First of all, right? And that's the same shit that we went through last year. Remember last year in the beginning of the season, they could not play in the cold for some reason. They sucked in the cold. Whenever it was like cold or rainy, the Yankees don't want to play. And that's not good. That is not good. Because guess what? It gets kind of cold in October. It gets cold. This one is on the Yankees bats, for sure. It's on the Yankees bats. So tomorrow we got Max Fried going up against Logan Gilbert. And on Wednesday, Cam Schlittler going up against George Kirby. So look, I say the Yankees have the pitching advantage in those two matchups. But Logan Gilbert is no slouch. And neither is Kirby. So, I can't wait for Schlittler's start, man. Schlittler is one of those guys that I look forward to his start. Like, I can't wait to see another start from him. He's that exciting to me. Like, and he got that freaking, like, I don't know. As soon as he gets on the mound, bro, you could tell like he don't give a shit. Like, he's a different person on that mound, and I like that, man. He's got that freaking animal in him, like that killer instinct. You could tell some people got it, some people don't. Cole got it. Garrett Cole, he's one of those guys, like, off the mound, he's awkward and weird, and you're like, look at this dork, right? He's a freaking dork, but when he's on that mound, he's a freaking assassin. straight killer. And I think Schiller got that. Schiller has that gene. When he's on that mound, when he's off the mound, he's a cat guy. He's a cat man, right? He loves cats and he's like timid and funny. When he's on that mound, that motherfucker is just an animal. He's an animal. And that's what we need more of. We need more dogs, man. More dogs. What time is it over? It's 10. And it's late. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up here. I appreciate you guys. I've been trying to go on in the mornings, but my schedule is all jacked up. But we're going to start doing it. I got some more goodies on the way in terms of like chat engagement stuff that I'm going to be bringing out hopefully soon. Some pregame stuff. I'm going to try to do some pregames if I can. We'll take a few more comments here. Wilkie says, no, I've had that thought since the start. If we look bad every time against good pitching, I'll forget about hope. And I feel you, man. And yet you have every right to. At least Ryan Weathers didn't get shelled today. He went longer than I thought he would. He remains hard predicted 3 innings. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to Grisham, Jazz, McMahon, Rice, and Wells tomorrow. Gilbert splitters. Yeah, they don't hit splitters well. They don't. We already know Grisham can't hit a splitter to save his life. You know, we saw that versus freaking Gossman and your Savage with the Blue Jays, right? You know, same thing with Ben Rice. Ben Rice, he struggles versus splitters. You know, especially if it's low and in, the splitters the tail in on him, he has a hard time hitting those. McMahon and Jazz, I'm not sure about that, but for sure, I think Rice and Grisham, they struggle with it. Wells too. Wells, you just got to throw something that breaks low and in on him, like real in, out of the zone, and they swing over it. They'll swing over it. Hopefully they fix that, though. We're going to see. Hopefully they made adjustments. If I was them, right, I'd be in the batting cage, you know, with the traject machine, and I'd be hitting nothing but splitters. Right? Nothing but splitters, because that's what killed us last year. That's why we couldn't do anything versus the Blue Jays. Them splitters, man, just destroyed us. So I agree with you, man. You're right about that. Wilkins says, I never realized how good the Mariners' rotation is. They've been good for years, dude. They just didn't have the hitting, and now they got the hitting, even though they didn't hit today. Giants got their first win. Tony Vitello with his first win. They beat the Padres 3-2. Bader homers off of Buehler. So good for them, man. Good for the Giants. It was starting to get ugly over there in Giants world. They're calling for the manager's head already. The dude didn't even last a weekend and people want him fired. I'm like, my goodness. It's only 3 games. Like, chill. But, you know, that's the nature of the world today, right? I'll tell you why. If Boone makes a bad bullpen decision, we calling for his head. I'll be the first one. I'm just joking, man. You know, they put up a stat today. Boone has 700 wins as a Yankees manager. He's like 5th all time as a Yankees manager. And they put up the graphic, right? And they showed him with Joe Torre and all the other managers with the most wins. And they didn't mention this once on this. See, this is what I don't like. They're very dishonest. Not dishonest. They just, you know, the elephant in the room was that out of all those managers, yeah, Boone is up there in terms of wins as a Yankees manager. But every manager up there had a World Series ring except Aaron Boone. So it don't matter, right? I don't know if you guys were watching the game, but they put that up. Boone had his 700 win as a Yankees manager. So he's 5th on the all-time Yankees manager list. Yet he has no ring, and everybody else on that list has a ring. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. You guys have a great rest of your evening, rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Yankees. But today,
Yankees lose.
the Yankees lose, man. Take care, y'all, man. God bless. I love you guys. You guys are the best, man. The best chat ever. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.